All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with a college football wrap up. And, well, without further ado, let's just dive right on into it. So, first on the slate, we have Michigan, Nebraska. Dylan Raiola, he outplayed Bryce Underwood. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. The problem is his line let him down. The defense got ran through. I mean, 43 yards rushing. And Emmett Johnson, 65 yards on the ground. Dylan Raiola, negative 46. Pretty much all of those coming from sacks. He was sacked 7 times in this game. I mean, holy cow. That is a problem and a half. 7 whole sacks. And I gotta fix that. Hold on, I gotta fix this. There we go. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Okay. Alright. A little bit better. But 7 sacks. I mean, you have to be able to run the ball. You can say that Nebraska lost this game. You can say that this happened, that happened. Oh, there's some light here. You know, somebody who knows what they're doing would probably set this up before going live, but whatever. But anyway, so we have but you can say Nebraska, they lost this game, this, that, or the other. This is what costed Nebraska the game. This drive right here. 16 plays, 77 yards, 8 minutes and 46 seconds off of the clock. This is where the will got taken. The spirit was broken. This is where it all went horrifically wrong for Nebraska. And it is because Coach Biff, he did a phenomenal job in interim for Sharon Moore. You could even make a case that they might be better with Biff. I mean, this Michigan team, they're used to awkward, quirky, just a different type of coach. And I think Biff fills that void, fills that you just don't get with Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore is just too normal for Michigan. I mean, this Michigan program is used to quirkiness, used to oddities. Biff's one of those. And it's not necessarily a shot at Sharon Moore, but it's just the style. When you have an oddball at head coach. I mean, granted, it was against Central Michigan last weekend, but they played well. And then they come back and play well again in hostile territory. I mean, the Cornhusker fans, they smelled blood in the water. Freshman quarterback on the road. You finally get a chance to beat the big, bad Michigan Wolverines. and you just couldn't do it. I mean, for Matt Rule, if not now, when? How many more years are you going to waste of Dylan Raiola? You only got 2 left after this. And I thought Nebraska was going to be one of those dark horse teams that kind of upset the standings a little bit. Obviously, at this point, I'm willing to admit that I am very, very wrong about that. But big problems in Lincoln, and they're looking at 9-3, 8-4, maybe even 7-5. Because they got Michigan State, Maryland. They could be something. USC, they're legit. At Penn State, that's a loss. And then Iowa, who knows what's going to happen in that game? It's a rivalry game. So, major, major problems for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. And then on the Michigan side, you look at who they have left on their schedule. Wisconsin, don't make me laugh. At USC, hey, if they can do it in Nebraska, and they can beat Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule, they can definitely beat this USC team in the Coliseum. They did it last year at the Big House with a team that is not nearly as good. And I mean, and this is actually going to be that game is actually going to be very, very telling for Sharon Moore. Because Coach Pogue, he got it done on hostile territory, what you would consider much more hostile territory. In Nebraska, they actually care about their Cornhuskers. LA, they don't care about the Trojans. Oh yeah, they do. It's LA. They want to go to the beach and be in a movie. Come on. So, if Sharon Moore is able to get it done, then no issue. But if Michigan were to lose that game, I do not want to be Sharon Moore. And then you have Washington. That's going to be a tough game. And that'll be another measuring stick. At Michigan State, rivalry game. Who knows what's going to happen there. Purdue at Northwestern. At Maryland. Again, who knows how good Maryland is. We just saw them beat the brakes off Wisconsin. And then you have Ohio State. Now, winning this game does put into perspective how on where Michigan could very well be in the Big Ten standings come year end. They could go the distance with this schedule. They absolutely could. I mean, everybody here is beatable, including the vaunted Buckeyes. The Buckeyes, on how good they are, I'm beginning to seriously question. Now, we'll find out next weekend when they play Washington, which that will be live for later this week. We'll be talking about the upcoming games. It's probably, I'm going to try to make it Thursday, but we'll see how it all turns out. But if this Michigan team, especially that D-line and that offensive line, play the way that they did yesterday in Lincoln, they will beat Ohio State for a 5th straight year. And this time, it might actually have bigger implications as far as the playoffs. So, there is that. So that's that's the skinny on Michigan and Nebraska. And then you have the Battle of Florida. The excluding the Panhandle. That, I think, is a later battle, which we'll talk about it when the time comes. But Miami beats Florida. They pull away late. Carson Beck started playing like the Carson Beck of last year. DJ Lagway, yikes. 61 yards. This isn't like an overpowering defense that Miami has. Like, good God. I mean, Miami, they're an okay team. They will likely make the playoffs, but this isn't like a world-beating juggernaut. And you can only get 61 yards through the air. Hold on. I'm not gonna do that, Matt. You're only able to get 141 yards on this defense as the University of Florida Gators. And I get that it's in Hard Rock. I get that it's in Miami. But again, Miami is not a hostile environment. People don't go to Miami to watch the Hurricanes. They go to Miami for the beaches. So, I mean, 80 on the ground, 61 through the air. You can't even get a $150 in yards. 0 of 13 on third down. I mean, for being fired, Billy Napier being fired is a very, very legitimate possibility. His buyout is just under $20 million. That's doable in Gainesville. That is very, very doable. And I mean, is there a job? Is there a game on here where the day can be saved? Maybe not one individual, but my God, you'd have to go on a run. You'd have to beat Texas A&M in the 12th man. Georgia, Ole Miss, Tennessee, Florida State. You're going to have to beat them all. You have to run the table to be able to stake a claim on why you should be the Florida Gators head coach come 2026. Because at this current rate, forget about a bowl game. That is unreachable at this point. Because you look at it, Texas, that's a loss. Texas A&M, that's a loss. At Georgia, that's a loss. At Ole Miss is a loss. Tennessee, a loss. Florida State, a loss. Kentucky, very likely a loss. And I mean, they're staring down the barrel of being 1-11, 2-10 at best. And I get you have a brutal schedule, but you lost to South Florida. And in this scenario, you're losing to Mississippi State. You're losing to Kentucky, which are very losable games for Florida. Very losable. So, I mean, it is not an impossibility of losing this game. So, hold on, I'm going to set this up right here. Maybe I'll just set it right there. But anyway, this is, you're in historically disaster territory if you're the Florida Gators right now. And then Miami, we will get the battle for Florida. Florida State, Miami, October 4th. Oh my goodness, I am hyped. I am freaking hyped for that. Florida State, Miami, and Tallahassee. Who's legit? Who's not? That's gonna be fun, and we'll talk about that when we get to that point. Now, on to the next game. That is interesting. So, this one stunned me. This one absolutely stunned me. I thought Illinois was going to win this game because they have the most experience being together. They have a veteran quarterback, Brett Bielema. He's been there. He's done that. Kirsten Getty, he's been coaching a very, very long time. Don't get me wrong. But being the head man at a Power 4 institution is a totally different thing. Totally different. And you have to put into consideration of how Indiana was built. It's through the transfer portal. And by 4 games, they are beating the brakes off of Illinois. That Illinois Cinderella story is officially gone. That's done. That's out. See you later. And then in Indiana, looks like the slipper is going to fit for a second straight year. And it looks like this time, they're back with a vengeance. And their schedule at Oregon is going to be tough. At Penn State's going to be tough. But hey, they could split that. They don't have to win both. And I mean, just one, and you're going to have one of the best wins in the country. I get that it's going to be a brutal road. They may lose both. Who knows? But this, I mean, seeing the way Singetti was acting, even though they were up by a buttload, that is a demand. That is excellence is a requirement, not an ask. And that is how you build a championship program from nothing. And that's what he's doing here at Indiana. Indiana, I mean, they're showing it each and every single week the last 2 years. Indiana's no longer a basketball school. This is a football school. And if Singetti stays for a very long time, I sincerely hope that Indiana University obliges Singetti and gets him a very, very nice big stadium. Because there are some people who really like to see Indiana win some stuff. So it'll be interesting to see how their season plays out. And then you have Auburn at Oklahoma. Excuse me. Now, Oklahoma, as I said in my video last night, the instant reaction. Oklahoma is the great experiment here. Their rushing game, non-existent. I mean, you look at it, 1.5 yards a carry. That's nothing. Torrey Baylock in 11 carries, 13 yards. I mean, that's nothing. And what they are trying to accomplish here is going to be something we've never seen before. And pretty much everything is riding on Oklahoma's unbelievable defense, an incredibly strong passing game. I mean, their defense, they came to play. They came to play. Oh, they ruled 9 sacks? I thought it was 10. I swear to God it was 10 last night. So I guess it ties the school record. Okay. So it ties the school record for sacks. Jackson Arnold, he got abused. He got used. I mean, every single thing in the book, he got it. Poor Jackson Arnold. Now, if you're Auburn and you're looking at the rest of the schedule, Texas A&M is going to be tough. You can forget about Georgia, Missouri. That's going to be a tough game. At Arkansas, that's winnable. Kentucky is winnable. At Vanderbilt, this ain't Grandpa's Vanderbilt. Mercer, we'll get to that when we get there. And then Alabama. So you got 3 wins in the bank. You got 1 gimme left. You got 2 gimmies left. So you got to go and you got to beat Kentucky, or else you're going to be home for Christmas. Plain and simple. You got to beat Kentucky. You got to beat Kentucky. And then for Oklahoma, we're going to get we're going to get a test in a few weeks with the good old Red River. Now, Texas, I have my serious doubts about, but they have a very manageable schedule. They do have a bit of a murderer's row. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU. That is definitely a road to hoe. And that's where the running game is gonna, or lack thereof, is going to kill them. That's gonna be their big problem. So we'll see if this great experiment Oklahoma's trying to do works. But I definitely don't want to be them. I definitely don't want to be Oklahoma in this situation where you can only get 35 yards on the ground. And then we have Texas Tech and Utah. I mean, right out of the gate, you had that feeling that it was, like, as soon as it kicked off, it was going to go horribly, horribly south. Like, you just had that feeling. And, I mean, they even had to go to the backup. Morton got hurt. Will Hammond comes in and just lights it up. 13 of 16, 169, 2 touchdowns. QBR rating of 96. Devin Dampier, two killer interceptions. And the Tech. Okay. I mean, both O-lines held up. And let's see here. Much better on third down. Doubled up on the yards. Beat them in rushing too. Holy cow. And definitely beat them in the penalty department. Not in the good way though. And then time of possession was fairly even, and then Texas Tech +2 on the turnovers. I mean, is it too early to just hand the Big 12 trophy to Texas Tech? Because you can wrap a nice little bow on it, call it. I mean, Big 12's over. It's over. Okay. And then Missouri, South Carolina. Sellers did everything he could. Just no dice. And, but yeah. And then the other game that I wanted to talk about, because it's really showing that there's a very, very ugly divorce coming down the pike. That's Clemson. They just got boxed by Syracuse. And this isn't And this isn't a Syracuse team that's going to win an ACC. They're not even going to sniff the championship game. Like, this Syracuse team. It's a huge win if they can get to a bowl game. Big win if they can get to that. And I mean, this Clemson team, they were supposed to be a championship contender. That's gone. That's gone. Their playoffs is not gonna be a thing. You got North Carolina, which that's a whole train wreck. BC, SMU, that's a loss. Florida State, that's a loss. Louisville, that's a loss. And South Carolina, that's going to be a loss. So we went from national championship contenders to, are they even going to make a bowl game? Joe Collette had Clemson as the national champion. At least that's what the graphic showed. I don't know if that was legit. I don't remember. But Dabo Swinney and Clemson is in trouble. Like, big, big trouble. The buyout for Clemson is $60 million. After next year, it's $57 million. And in Grandpa's college football, that's doable. But this isn't Grandpa's college football. This is a problem for Clemson. They can't fire him because they're not going to be able to afford it. Massive, massive, massive problems for Clemson. Now, the new AP poll has officially come out. And let's take a look at it, shall we? So, we have right off the cuff, we got Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami. Quite honestly, I would put Miami at second. I mean, their resume is better than Penn State's. We now know that it's far better than LSU's right now. Granted, neither one of them played great against Florida. But Florida didn't turn the ball over 5 times against Miami, and they still scored more than 20 points. And then Penn State, they haven't played anybody. So I would put Miami at second, and then you can either flip-flop Penn State or LSU. I mean, Georgia, this is bulletin board material for Georgia. We beat Tennessee in Neyland, and you're still going to put us behind Miami, who beat Florida at home and beat the daunting South Florida. LSU, who has beaten a 1-3 Clemson team, who is likely not going to make a bowl game at this point. Penn State, who hasn't played anybody. Ohio State, we got questions about Texas now and how good that win really was. And the fact that they didn't even get a singular first place vote. Gee, I got questions for this AP, the AP people. I got questions. Oh, well, you know, this, hold on. Hold on. I got bamboozled. Okay. Did I get... No, I didn't. Hold on. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay. And then Oregon, Florida State. Yeah, whatever. Texas. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, now this isn't updated. Son of a bitch. Give me the updated AP poll, damn it. Knocking on the door. Oh, it releases at 2 p.m. Okay. Either way. Either way. Yeah, Clemson. Georgia should be ranked much higher. They have they have the best win in the country right now. I'm not saying put them at number 1, but I mean, we've seen Texas come out slow, and you know Georgia's going to be behind Miami, LSU, Penn State, and Ohio State. So, point still stands. So, you got... So, like, how does Oregon get a number 1 vote? They haven't played anybody. I can understand Ohio State. I don't understand Penn State at all. LSU, okay. Miami, it's a stretch, but okay. And I know I'm crying over spilled milk because none of this matters, but damn it, it matters to me. Just let me have my crash out, okay? Just let me have my crash out. Oh, goodness. But, yeah. It appears we have a lot of people who don't quite understand football. Let's see. Eeny, meeny. Ooh, that's a fun name. Oh, Penn State number 1. Cokie Riley. From Baton Rouge? Yeah, oh my goodness. LSU down to 8th. I mean, I can be... I thought I was being a little brutal on him, but Jesus criminy. Whew. Okay. That's interesting. Let's do... Ooh, David Briggs. Oh, the Toledo Blade. Okay. How does he do? Okay, whatever. All right. Am I frozen? Okay. Just checking. So let's see. We got Ohio State, Penn State, Miami. Like I don't understand how you put Oregon and Penn State ahead of Georgia or Texas A&M for that matter. I don't understand. All right. Anyway, I've taken up enough of your time. I think we covered everything that I wanted to cover in this one. I will be back tomorrow and we'll do the week 4 reaction to the AP Top 25 on Monday night while live streaming. We'll sidecast Monday Night Football. Whatever that game happens to be, I don't remember off the top of my head, but we'll live stream it. We'll sidecast it, so. And going into the game, we'll talk about everything that happened beforehand, everything that happened on Sunday, and talk AP poll. And yeah, so until next time, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And we'll see you all in the next one.